Okay. We are live. Are we live? There we go. Yeah, we are live. Can I tell you guys a story? My sagas, but I need to tell you a story. So some of you reached out to me and said that it's hard to find the videos. So I went back through Facebook to figure out what's going on. And here's an insight into my true nature. Yes, I have a huge science brain. I love science. I deep dive into science big time. I love it. But I also am incredibly spiritual, incredibly connected to my energy and vibration from a spirituality standpoint. In fact, if you stick with me long enough, you'll see that I believe they go really, really well together. They're very complementary, science and spirituality. However, when you're a very spiritual, energetic person and you are connected to your vibration in such a way, your energetic field changes around you. Quite literally, the scientific energetic field that we can track through science and through technology, that field changes. And my electromagnetic field is so strange, and it has always disrupted technology. So my husband years ago used to work for Apple. And my Apple products would completely self-destruct. I would push the same button that anyone else would push, and it would just completely break. And this happens in technology for me across the board. I do the same thing like everybody else, and my technology just self-destructs. So sometimes I have challenge with technology, not because I don't know how to use it, but because my energetic field disrupts it. That's a topic for another day. But the reason why I'm telling you this today is because as I was going back through the videos on Facebook, it is difficult to find them. I have tried to edit them. It won't let me edit them. It won't let me change them. It won't let me tag them. It won't let me change the wording to be able to index them differently. It's incredibly frustrating. I don't know how and why Facebook does what it does. I'm going to continue to try. If any of you are Facebook experts and know how to index videos like this, where they will pop up or categorize or group in a way that's easier for you all to see them, please feel free to reach out to me and give me advice. I am happy to take it. In the meantime, I think most of you have heard me talk about the Mighty Network group, which is free. It's just a platform that is off of Facebook and social media. I find it so much easier to navigate. It is not cluttered. It's not crowded. It's my space. I can control it. I can index things and do whatever I want with it. I have indexed all of these videos in there, and I know for sure that they are easy to find in the Mighty Network. So if you are having trouble and you want to know for sure that you can find these videos in an easier way, I encourage you, I'll put the link in our comments here today, and you can go onto the Mighty Network. It's free. Download the Mighty Network app, just like the Facebook app. Sign up for a free Mighty Network account, and all of the videos are on there, indexed in a really easy way. The resources are on there. Your worksheets are on there. Everything is there for you. And I think some people are having an easier time watching them there than they are here. And I apologize for that. I will see what I can do about Facebook. I thought having tagged it, that's what they want us to do. They want us to tag topics. That's how they categorize them. I am tagging all of these. It's not showing up the way that it should be. They're indexed all weird. When I go into the topic, some of them are there, some of them aren't. I go back through to try and change them. It won't let me edit them. Facebook, which is why my dream is to get everybody off of Facebook, but this is where you all are. And so I'm gonna try to make it work for you on here. If you're having trouble, feel free to go over to the Mighty Network. I will work on it this week a little bit more and see if I can figure out how to make the videos easier to access. The other thing is, side note, my YouTube channel, which by the way, I barely have a YouTube channel, but if you look for me on YouTube, you can subscribe, and all of these videos are on there, and they are indexed and they are numbered. They are numbered in order. So there's another tip and trick, is that you can go onto YouTube and watch all the videos there. So I hope that that makes it easier for any of you that are having trouble. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm doing my best over here. Okay, so we are moving into habits week, 2 weeks of habits, actually. That's how important I think habits are. We're going to base this week and next week off of Dr. BJ Fogg's work. He is a researcher, a behavior scientist out of Stanford, and he wrote the book, Tiny Habits. Just for reference to you, I think most of you know, I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I have licenses and certifications and deep dive trainings into a lot of topics that I feel are really effective for my clients. And I think BJ's work is so transformative that I took his Tiny Habits Coach certification training. Between you and I, mostly because we have access to BJ in office hours and things like that. And so I can kind of ask him questions and go deeper into those things, not because any of the topics are particularly hard to understand. So I am a certified Tiny Habits coach, which is going to work out well for you all if you want to go through a Tiny Habits mini training with me next week. I'm going to ask you to send me your email. My email is so easy. ElizaKingsford@gmail.com. Send me your email and I'm going to compile them and I will enter you into, long story short, you can go into the free coaching with BJ Tiny Habits for a week, but you may not get me as your coach. They'll just sign up for, any random coach, and actually usually they're coaches in training. So if you send me your email, then I can input this entire group into their greenhouse platform and I will be your coach for the week, which is what we want to do because I'm going to set you up in a specific way for that. So your homework, if you want to be involved in next week's coaching, is to send me your email. And all that means is that you'll get emails from BJ, you'll get resources from BJ Fogg throughout the week, you'll get emails from me throughout the week. But what we'll do is we will develop and iterate your tiny habit recipes all next week, Monday through Friday. And I will do that for you. And I'm going to set that up this week and tell you what that means. But I will do that for you Monday through Friday of next week. It'll be really fun. So why habits? Why am I talking about habits? If you stop and really think about who we are in this world, at our very basic level, we are the compilation of habits, all of us as people. We are the result of who we are. Who we are is as a result of habits that we do or don't partake in every single day. That is all we are, right? If you are a good friend, it's because you're in the habit of communicating with your friends. If you are a good partner, it's because you are in the habit of whoever you are as a partner to your partner. If you are a healthy person, it's because you are in the habit of the behaviors that keep you healthy. If you are struggling with health, it's because you are not in the habit of the behaviors that keep you healthy, or you are in the habit of behaviors that are an antithesis to your health. If you are a good worker, it's because you are in the habit of doing whatever it is that you need to do to be good at your job. If you are struggling at work, it is because you are in the habit of doing something that keeps you from being good at your job, or you are not in the habit of doing something that does make you good at your job. See where I'm going with this? Every single thing that we are in our lives is because we are in the habit of either doing it or not doing it. And that is this, it's the same for good habits as it is for what we consider bad habits. We can get in the habit of doing something that's not helpful for us, or we can be in the habit of doing something that is helpful for us. You are all in the habit of brushing your teeth, I hope. You are all in the habit of showering. You are all in the habit of putting your feet on the floor in the morning. You are all in the habit of responding to the urge to go to the bathroom. You are all in the habit of insert anything here. And so I'm making the point of this because as we move into the end of the year and we start next year and people start making goals and setting goals for themselves and all these things, it's really, really important to learn about and emphasize the importance of habits, who we are in the habit of being every day of our lives. We don't pay enough attention to habits. We make these goals. We have these aspirations, right? I want to lose weight. I want to make money. I want to find a partner. I want to be happy. I want to be a better parent. These are all aspirations, most of them. Some of them have outcomes, right? But none of them are habits, right? And we only actually accomplish any of these aspirations or outcomes by the compilation of habits over time that we acquire, or the compilation of habits over time that we get rid of, right? So if you are, for instance, your aspiration is to be at a healthier weight. More specifically, your outcome is to lose 20 pounds. That's fine, but not actually very informative. What's more informative is, what are you in the habit of doing or not doing that keeps you from getting there? So if you are in the habit of over-consuming calories, if you are in the habit of eating in response to emotions and triggers, if you are in the habit of skipping your workouts, if you are in the habit of binging, if you are in the habit of restricting and then binging on the weekends, setting yourself an outcome of I want to lose 20 pounds is actually not very useful to you, is it? More useful is to understand what habits are getting in the way of that outcome, or what habits you need to develop in order to reach that outcome. Yes? And we never stop and think about our habits. We think if we set a goal for ourselves that we will rearrange everything in order to meet it. It's just not true. So what I'd like you to start thinking about today is getting more granular. What are the habits that I'm either in the habit of or that I have not created the habit of that are keeping me outside of my goal or my outcome or my aspiration? Now, in the shift, I do more training about the difference between aspirations and outcomes. We do a specific tiny habits training to get everybody thinking that way. And this next round of the shift, which all previous shift members will have access to, because I know a lot of you are alumni here, but we're actually going to do behavior design training as well, which is a very in-depth way of figuring out which habits we need to prioritize in order to get to our goals and outcomes, right? But you guys are going to get a taste of this I'm going to teach you how to create a tiny habit recipe, why tiny habits are more effective than larger habits. And then next week, I'm going to coach you through your tiny habits. For now, I just want you to start to think about and process through, if I have not met an aspiration or outcome that I want for myself in any area of your life, you're all in here for health, so we can stick to that if you want. But in any area of your life, if I have not met an aspiration or an outcome that I have for myself, what am I in the habit of doing? Or what am I not in the habit of doing that would help me reach that aspiration or outcome? That's where I want you to start to look at this week. And we're going to start to break it down even a little bit more specifically in the next couple of days. Right now, I want you to start to reevaluate your life on the basis of habits. What am I in the habit of doing, or what am I not in the habit of doing that would help me reach my outcome? Okay. All right. That is where I wanted to start for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to break down. Well, actually, I want to say one more thing. Tiny Habits is the book that we are focusing this work on. Feel free to go get it, read it, listen to it. I know some of you have. I want to say one caveat, which is, BJ is like I said, he's a behavior scientist out of Stanford. His life's work has been around creating these theories and models in tiny habits, right? So I'm going to introduce to you his behavioral model and theory tomorrow, which is behavior equals motivation, ability, and prompt. And I'll tell you what that means. But what I want to say is that anytime a researcher has put their life's work into their program, their theories and models, I have found that they have they feel like this is the answer, right, to everything, right? My theory, my model, this will solve the problems for you. And while I think tiny habits is incredibly impactful, truly. So much so that, like I said, I went and got certified and have and follow along BJ's work very, very closely. It is a very, very amazing tool. But from where I sit and what I see in my clients, it's not everything. So, for instance, once I teach you the tiny habit recipe, there are some people struggle to implement the tiny habit recipes. And truthfully, if we haven't done the foundation work first, belief systems, paradigms, some of the other work that we have been talking about, how do I want to feel, not focusing on the negative, those kinds of things. It's not that tiny habits won't be effective, but that I think they need to be all used in conjunction. So that's why I don't subscribe to only tiny habits as the answer to everything, because, for instance, the Nick and Jessica Ortner, who they didn't create tapping, but that's kind of their life's work. They think tapping is the solution to everything, right? Tapping works for some people, it doesn't. Joe Dispenza, who is amazing, if you know me, I do a lot of his work. He thinks his meditation is the answer to everything. It's incredible. I don't know that it's everything, right? So the way I see my role in what I do and the transformation that I invite people to is I give them lots of different tools, because all of our brains and all of our personalities, in my opinion, well, we know they all work differently. Some people will find incredible success with meditation. Some people will never meditate. Some people will find incredible success with tapping. Some people will never touch it. Some people will do it with tiny habits. Some people just don't get into them. So when you work with me, there's a lot of tools in the toolkit, so you can figure out which one lands with you, your body, your energy, your mindset, the type of personality and behavior that you are. So all of that is to say, tiny habits is incredible. I find tiny habits really works well for not analytical, not right-brained, for people who are very practical, tactical, need an action, a behavior, often very sort of type A would be generalizing, but just that sort of meticulous, action-oriented, right? This is a really good tool for you. And then some of the other tools, tapping and meditation, sometimes like that, sometimes land for more creative is not the word. What is it? For more ethereal, sort of spiritual connected people who do well with the lack of the words are not coming to me. For people who are more sort of vibrational, energetic in nature, sometimes they connect really well to sort of the mindfulness, meditation, the tapping, kind of feeling it in the body. And then there are people who are much better served with the it's almost like the masculine feminine, right? It's sort of the more masculine approaches are the, what am I going to do? What am I going to write? What's the tool? What's the practicality? How do I put it into practice? Give me the tangible, right? And then the more feminine kind of flowy energy, this is stereotypical, more flowy energy is kind of like, how do I feel? Where do I feel it? Does it feel intuitive? Do I feel it in my body? That's kind of more, sometimes the more meditative tapping space, things like that. So not to get too far down this rabbit hole, but I just wanted to say to you, it is one of the tools. It's an incredible tool and I love it. And we're going to spend 2 weeks on it. That's how much I love it. But I would hate for you to grab onto it so much that it is the only tool. Or if for some reason it's not landing for you, that you go, oh, well, see, I can't do this. Perhaps just a different tool is more right for you and your personality. Okay. So your invitation for this week is to start to contemplate where, if you are not somewhere that you want to be in your life, what are the habits that you are in or not in that are keeping you from getting to that place? Start to contemplate that, and we will start to move into the actual model tomorrow. All right, all. I will see you tomorrow.